My name is Claire, and for 10 years, my family erased me like I was a smudge on a window. No calls, no birthday texts, not even a nod at Christmas. They didn't need to say goodbye, they just made me invisible. I'm 27 now, living in a small Rochester apartment, sunlight spilling through the window onto my coffee table, where a mug of chamomile tea steams beside a thrift shop novel. It's late spring, the air warm but sharp with the memory of winter. I work as a social worker, helping others rebuild, but my own story started unraveling at 17, the day everything changed. I was a senior in high school, helping Aunt Nora in the kitchen, chopping onions for breakfast. Aunt Nora, the only one who ever saw me, was humming an old jazz tune. My mother, Margaret, kept a silver locket, a family heirloom, in her bedroom safe. That Sunday, it vanished. I hadn't been near her room, I was peeling onions, eyes stinging, but Margaret's gaze locked on me, cold as frost. "You were home all morning," she said, voice low, cutting. "You've always been too curious with things that aren't yours." Before I could speak, Laura, my older sister, leaned against the doorway, arms crossed, a glint in her eyes. "I saw Claire near Mom's room earlier," she said, tone flat, unreadable. Maybe it was a mistake. A mistake. I hadn't touched the locket. "I was unplugging the iron Laura left on," I said, heart racing. "You told me to check appliances before leaving." But Margaret didn't care. She didn't need evidence, just a reason to confirm I was the problem. Henry, my father, stayed silent, stirring his coffee. That night, at dinner, as I left the room, he muttered, "Things vanish when you're around, Claire." The words landed like a slap. From then on, I was excluded, no family dinners, no game nights. I ate alone in my room, the basement's damp chill seeping in. Only Aunt Nora spoke to me, quietly, when no one watched. The silence wasn't loud, but it was heavier than any shout. I thought college would be my escape. I got into SUNY Brockport, not elite but a fresh start. I studied social work, dreaming of helping others heal. But in my freshman year, my roommate, Emma, showed me a blog post on her phone, "Claire Dawson, the truth behind the facade." It accused me of faking injuries for grades, stealing from classmates, and taking Margaret's locket. No author, but the phrasing, sharp, smug, was Laura's. I knew it. I contacted the college, begging them to investigate, but a dean shrugged. "Perception matters, Claire. Be mindful of your image." That post cost me a merit scholarship, $5,000 I'd earned through late-night research. Classmates avoided me, professors hesitated when calling my name. I nearly quit but didn't. I worked 2 jobs, cafe shifts, tutoring, lived on instant oatmeal, and studied in the library until closing. I graduated at 22, no honors, no family at the ceremony. I thought I'd left it behind, but 3 years later, in my Rochester office, a colleague emailed me, "Claire, this article sounds like your work." It was a study in Community Health Journal, titled Trauma Recovery in Urban Youth, by Laura Dawson. Every paragraph, every statistic, mirrored my unpublished thesis. I'd spent 9 months on it, evenings after work, charting data on resilience. Laura had visited my office a year earlier, saying she wanted to learn about social work. I'd shown her my drafts, my surveys, even made her tea, hoping we could reconnect. She stole it all. I contacted the journal, demanding they check the source. They brushed me off, submit a formal complaint with legal support. I had no money for lawyers, but I had proof, drafts, emails, notes. I started compiling everything, my hands shaking. Then I found something worse. Bank statements from a college account showed $75,000 in transfers labeled "consulting fees," under Claire Dawson. I hadn't seen a cent. I sent the records to Mark, a friend and forensic analyst. He called days later, voice tight. "Claire, this is bad. The account's tied to Dawson Community Trust, run by Margaret. They used your name, your tax ID, for fake transactions." I sat, staring at my tea, now cold. Margaret once said, "You ruin our family's name." Now I knew, I wasn't her daughter, I was her scapegoat. I remembered Grandpa's will, promising me an education fund because Claire has heart. I never got it. A lawyer's old email confirmed why my name was removed, citing a disputed relation. Margaret had faked a DNA test to cut me out. I wasn't angry anymore, just determined. They thought I'd stay silent. They were wrong. I sit at my Rochester apartment's kitchen table, laptop open, a folder labeled evidence glowing on the screen. It's early June, the air warm, but my hands are cold as I scroll through files, drafts of my thesis, emails to Laura, bank statements showing $75,000 in fake transfers under my name. Each document is a piece of the truth they buried. Outside, birds chirp, but inside, it's just the hum of my fridge and the weight of 10 years of silence. I start with the plagiarized article. My thesis, Trauma Recovery in Urban Youth, took 9 months, late nights, coffee-fueled, after 10-hour shifts at the community center. Laura's visit last year replays in my mind, her fake smile, her "I'm thinking of switching careers" excuse. I showed her my data, my charts, thinking we could rebuild. She took everything. I find an email from her, dated a week after, "Amazing work, Claire. You should publish." I save it, timestamp and all, proof she had my file. Next, I dig into Laura's academic record. I access SUNY Brockport's alumni database, where she claims a master's in social work. No thesis under her name, no defense record. I screenshot the empty search result, my pulse quickening. Then I revisit the anonymous blog from college, the one that smeared me. Mark, my analyst friend, traced its IP to a computer at Dawson Community Trust, where Laura was a program manager. I save his report, another link in the chain. The bank statements are the hardest. $75,000 in transfers labeled consulting, research support, all under Claire Dawson. I was scraping by, eating rice and beans, while they used my name to funnel money. Mark's email confirms, the trust, run by Margaret, has no valid nonprofit license. It's a front, and your tax ID's tied to it. You could face IRS scrutiny. My stomach churns. Margaret's voice echoes, "You ruin our name." No, she ruined mine. I pull up Grandpa's will. A retired paralegal sent me a 2013 copy, my name, crossed out, with no verified relation, scribbled beside it. A fake DNA test, orchestrated by Margaret, erased me from his $20,000 education fund. I save the document, my hand steady now. They thought I'd never find out, that I'd stay the quiet girl in the basement. Then, in April, an invitation arrives, cream envelope, gold script, Claire Dawson in Margaret's handwriting. Laura's wedding to Ethan Caldwell, June 20th, at the Elms, a Newport mansion. Ethan. I met him 6 years ago at a nonprofit summit. I pitched a youth mental health program, he was a judge, a smug venture capitalist. He smirked, "Nice try, but stick to smaller dreams." My face burned as the room laughed. I never pitched again, moved to consulting. Now he's marrying Laura, and they sent this invite, no note, no apology, just a demand to witness their triumph. I set the envelope down, sunlight glinting off my tea mug. It's not random. Laura and Margaret know our history, the humiliation. They want me there to gloat, to remind me I'm the outsider. But I'm not that girl anymore. I call Mark. "You free June 20th? I ask, voice calm but firm. "What's up?" he says, cautious. "I'm going to a wedding. Need someone to keep me from throwing a drink." He laughs. "You sure about this?" "I'm not going to congratulate them," I say. "I'm going to show them I'm still here." I open my closet, pull out a burgundy dress, sleeveless, elegant, sharp. It's been unworn, saved for a moment I'd feel strong. This is it. I don't need their approval, I need them to see I survived. At 1 a.m., I'm back at my laptop, ginger tea cold beside me. I open the evidence folder, scroll through fragments, emails, drafts, a photo of Laura at a trust gala, smiling like she earned it. I find a file from my college laptop, a voice memo from Laura's visit. "Claire, your work's so detailed. Can I borrow some notes? My own voice, eager, naive, agreeing. I save it. This isn't about fairness anymore, it's about truth. I search the trust's public records. Mark found $40,000 in consulting fees to anonymous recipients, all under my name, during years I was broke. Then, a leaked clinic report from Laura's internship at Rochester Health Center, a medication error, a child hospitalized, Laura listed as the clinician. The case was closed, signed by Director Margaret Dawson. My mother. I save it, my breath shallow. They built their empire on lies, using my name as a shield. I pull out a manila folder, label it for the truth. This isn't revenge. It's reclaiming what's mine. The morning sun filters through my Rochester apartment, warming the hardwood. I sit at my kitchen table, evidence folder open on my laptop, a cooling mug of chamomile beside me. June 20th, Laura's wedding, is days away. My burgundy dress hangs in the closet, a quiet promise. I've spent weeks building my case, emails proving Laura stole my thesis, bank statements showing $75,000 in fake transfers under my name, a clinic report tying her to a medication error covered up by Margaret. Each file is a brick in the wall of truth I'm ready to unveil. I start with the voice memo from Laura's visit. Can I borrow some notes? Her voice, smooth, calculated. My naive agreement. I burn it to a USB, labeled proof. Next, I review the trust's records Mark sent. $40,000 in consulting fees to Claire Dawson, none of which I received. The Dawson Community Trust, Margaret's creation, has no valid license. Mark's warning echoes, IRS could come for you. I save the financial summaries, my hands steady. They used my identity to hide their fraud, thinking I'd never fight back. I dig deeper, finding a 2013 email from a family lawyer. Grandpa's will originally left me $20,000 for college, but Margaret's fake DNA test, no verified relation, cut me out. I save the email, the will's scanned copy. Aunt Nora's words from years ago surface, "You're the only one with heart, Claire." She'd sneak me snacks in the basement, whisper encouragement when Margaret wasn't looking. She's the only one I miss. Laura's academic record is next. SUNY Brockport's database shows no thesis, no master's degree. Her Community Health Journal article, My Stolen Work, won her a $10,000 grant. I screenshot the database, save my original thesis draft, timestamped before her visit. The blog that smeared me in college, Mark traced its IP to the trust's office. I save his report, each piece tightening the noose. Then, the clinic report. Laura's internship error hospitalized a child. Margaret, the director, closed the case. I find an old colleague's email, confirming Laura altered records. I save it, my chest tight. They didn't just erase me, they built their lives on my silence. The wedding invitation sits on my counter, gold script mocking me. Laura marrying Ethan, the man who humiliated me 6 years ago at that summit. His smirk, stick to smaller dreams, still stings. Margaret and Laura sent this invite to rub it in, to keep me small. But I'm not small anymore. I text Mark, ready for Newport? He replies, got your back. Let's do this. I stand, stretch, and walk to the window. Rochester streets are alive with summer, kids biking, flowers blooming. My apartment's simple, thrifted furniture, a small bookshelf, but it's mine, paid for with my own sweat. I think of high school, eating alone in the basement, Margaret's cold stare, Henry's silence, Laura's smug lies about the locket. I was 17, accused without proof, cast out. I stopped waiting for apologies years ago. I open my closet, touch the burgundy dress. It's elegant, not flashy, but bold enough to demand attention. I try it on, the fabric cool against my skin. In the mirror, I see someone new, not the girl who begged for a place at the table. I'm going to the Elms not to disrupt, but to stand in my truth. At midnight, I'm back at my laptop, tea cold. I find a trust gala photo, Laura in a silk gown, Margaret beaming, Ethan nearby. They look untouchable, but their foundation's cracking. I save the photo, add it to my folder. Mark's latest email arrives, found another $25,000 in transfers under your name. Sending docs. I open them, my breath catching. The trust was a house of cards, and I'm pulling the first one. I think of Aunt Nora, who called last week. Claire, be careful, she said, voice soft. Margaret's ruthless when cornered. I reassured her, I'm not fighting for revenge. I'm fighting for me. She paused, then said, I'm proud of you. Her words linger, a rare warmth. I label a new folder, for Newport. It holds everything, emails, drafts, bank records, the clinic report. I'm not just going to the wedding to show up, I'm bringing the truth. They thought I'd stay silent, the scapegoat who'd take the blame forever. But silence isn't my cage anymore. I close the laptop, sip my tea, and feel the weight lifting. The sun rises outside, golden, steady, like the resolve growing in me. June 20th dawns bright, Newport's sky a vivid blue. I step out of the car at the Elms, burgundy dress catching the breeze, heels clicking on marble. Mark's beside me, his suit crisp, eyes scanning the crowd. The mansion glows, white roses, crystal chandeliers, silk drapes fluttering. Guests in tailored suits and gowns mingle, violins humming from the garden. I clutch my folder, for Newport, heavy with truth, emails, bank records, my stolen thesis, the clinic report. I'm not here to celebrate, I'm here to be seen. The lobby manager nods, recognizing my RSVP. Laura and Margaret thought I'd stay away, but I'm no ghost. I walk through the grand hall, chandeliers sparkling, air thick with perfume. Guests glance, whisper. I spot Laura by the altar, radiant in a lace gown, blonde curls pinned perfectly. Ethan, polished as ever, stands beside her, his summit smirk unchanged. Margaret's nearby, in a navy suit, eyes scanning the crowd. She sees me, lips tightening, but says nothing, always performing for her audience. The ceremony is swift, vows, rings, applause. I sit in the back, Mark's steady presence grounding me. The reception spills into the garden, jazz drifting, champagne flutes clinking. I wait, heart steady, until the MC announces the toasts. As the crowd raises glasses, I stand, walk to the podium, and take the mic. No one stops me. The garden quiets, eyes turning. Excuse me, I say, voice clear, carrying over the breeze. I'm Claire Dawson, Laura's sister. Some of you don't know me, and that's why I'm here. I hold up the folder. This is my thesis, published as Laura's in Community Health Journal. Here's the email where she asked to see my draft. Murmurs ripple. Laura's smile freezes, Ethan frowns. I turn to Ethan. Remember the 2019 summit? You laughed at my pitch, said I didn't belong. Now you're marrying someone who stole my work to build her career. His face pales. I look at Margaret. And you, Mom. You faked a DNA test to cut me from Grandpa's will. You used my name for $75,000 in fake trust transfers. You covered up Laura's clinic error that hurt a child. The crowd's silent, a glass clinks somewhere. Laura steps forward, voice shaky. Claire, let's talk privately. I shake my head. No. You made me invisible for 10 years. I'm done hiding. I face the guests. This folder has proof, emails, records, screenshots. The truth doesn't vanish. Margaret moves toward me, eyes blazing. You're embarrassing yourself. I hold her gaze. No, you're embarrassed because the truth's out. Ethan turns to Laura. Is this true? She's silent, lips thin. A guest whispers, plagiarism? Another, fraud? I set the mic down, folder on the podium. I didn't come to argue. I came to reclaim what's mine. I walk away, Mark behind me, through the garden's stunned silence. Whispers rise like waves, Laura's face crumples, Margaret recoils, Ethan steps back. I don't need to see their empire crack, I feel it. Outside, the ocean breeze brushes my skin. I breathe deeply, the folder's weight gone. My heels click on the path, steady, free. Mark nods. You did it. I smile, small but real. I did. Back in Rochester, I sit in my apartment, sunlight pooling on the floor. I open my laptop, email 3 outlets, Health Today, Academic Watch, Rochester Review, attaching the folder, my thesis, Laura's email, bank records, the clinic report. I don't sign my name, the truth speaks louder. I send another to SUNY Brockport's Ethics Board, a third to New York's Medical Licensing Office. Each click lifts a burden. By evening, my phone buzzes. Aunt Nora, saw what happened. You're braver than I ever was. I reply, thanks for seeing me. I sip chamomile, the jazz record spinning. The Elms feels distant, like a dream I've woken from. I think of high school, eating alone, Laura's lies about the locket, Margaret's cold stare. I was 17, begging for a place. Now, I don't need their table. The sun sets, casting golden light. My apartment's small, thrifted couch, a lavender plant on the sill, but it's mine. I survived their silence, their theft, their lies. The folder's on my table, a testament to 10 years of fighting to be seen. I don't need their apologies. I have my truth, and it's enough. 3 days after the wedding, Health Today publishes, Newport charity leader faces plagiarism allegations. No names, but Laura's gala photo, blurred, points to her. By morning, Academic Watch runs a deeper story, SUNY alums grant tied to stolen thesis. Laura's LinkedIn vanishes, her trust profile gone. The Dawson Community Trust site posts, operations paused for financial review. Mark texts, federal probe opened. Your evidence worked. I sip coffee in my Rochester apartment, sunlight warming the floor. No triumph, just quiet relief. A week later, Margaret's medical license is suspended pending investigation. The trust's $75,000 in fake transfers, under my name, triggers an IRS audit. A Rochester Review piece names Margaret and Laura, citing fraudulent identity use and a covered-up clinic error. Laura silent, her degree under review. Mark says, they used your name as a shield. Now it's their undoing. I nod, stirring chamomile tea, jazz playing softly. The house they built on lies is crumbling. An unknown number texts, you've ruined us. I screenshot it, send it to Mark. He replies, keep it. They're desperate. I don't respond. I don't need to. The truth is out, spreading like sunlight through my window. Aunt Nora calls. You okay, Claire? She asks, voice warm. I'm free, I say, and mean it. She chuckles. You always were stronger than they knew. Weeks pass, summer blooming in Rochester. My apartment's simple, lavender on the sill, thrift shop books, but it's home. I work at the community center, teach yoga for trauma survivors, live quietly. No more messages from Margaret or Laura. The silence, once heavy, feels clean. Mark updates me, the trust's collapsed, Margaret's banned from nonprofits, Laura's jobless. I don't gloat. I just keep living. One morning, a knock. I peek through the peephole, Margaret, in a gray coat, face tight, makeup flawless despite her fall. I open the door. She steps in, eyes scanning my apartment. Still so plain, she says, voice flat. I don't react, just pull out a chair. She doesn't sit. You've destroyed us, she says, calm but sharp. Was it worth it? I wipe my hands on a towel, meet her gaze. I didn't destroy anything. I just stopped hiding your lies. You stole my work, my name, my place. You faked a DNA test to cut me from Grandpa's will. You let Laura ruin me. I just showed the truth. Her eyes flicker. Laura's not perfect, but you didn't have to ruin her life over jealousy. I laugh, soft, unstoppable. Jealousy? I wanted a family, not your spotlight. You made me a scapegoat, erased me. I'm done carrying your shame. She's silent, then says, "You want an apology?" I shake my head. I don't need it. You've got investigations to face. I've got a life to live. I open the door. She leaves, heels clicking, fading into the street. I close it, no lock, just a deep exhale. The weight's gone. That night, a call from an unknown number. "Claire, it's Lisa, former nurse at Rochester Health Center. I saw Laura change that child's chart after the error." I was silenced, reassigned. "If you need a statement, I'm ready." My voice trembles. "Thank you. That means everything." She sighs. "I know what it's like to be erased." I hang up, heart steady. I don't need revenge, just peace. The next morning, I wake to sunlight, make coffee, play jazz. I find an old USB with my thesis, the one Laura stole. I open it, read my words, and smile. They're mine again. One Saturday, I record a video in my kitchen, sunlight streaming. "I'm Claire Dawson," I say, no script. "If you've been erased by family, made invisible, this is for you." I thought silence would earn their love. It didn't. They stole my work, my name, my place. But I spoke, and I'm free. You don't owe them your silence. You deserve your voice. I upload it to a family trauma forum. Within days, comments flood in. I was the scapegoat too. "Thank you. Your story gave me courage. I'm not alone." After yoga class, a woman approaches, eyes soft. "My son saw your video." I hadn't spoken to him in years. I called him today. I touch her hand. "It's never too late. I don't know if Margaret or Laura saw my video. It doesn't matter. My life's not theirs to define. I live for me, simple, quiet, true. Freedom isn't their apology, it's letting go and choosing myself."